Empowering black workers in an organization that is racist or belittles its black employees requires systemic change, strong leadership, and a commitment to creating an equitable and inclusive environment. Below are some steps that can be taken to support and empower black workers in such an environment. 1. Acknowledge and address the problem. Leadership accountability is crucial. The leadership must first acknowledge the existence of racism within the organization. This includes being open to feedback from black employees and listening to their concerns. Ignoring or dismissing complaints only perpetuates the issue. Next, create safe spaces for dialogue. Establish confidential channels for employees to report racist behavior or discriminatory practices without fear of retaliation. Encourage open and honest discussions about race and inclusion at all levels of the organization. 2. Implement anti-racism training and education. Comprehensive anti-racism programs are essential. Ensure that the organization implements mandatory anti-racism, diversity, and inclusion training for all employees, particularly leadership. Training should address unconscious bias, systemic racism, microaggressions, and how to create a more inclusive work culture. Ongoing education is also important. Anti-racism training should not be a one-time event, but an ongoing process. Continuous education helps employees understand how to actively fight racism in their day-to-day work and interactions. 3. Establish mentorship and career development programs. Mentorship for black employees is key. Create mentorship programs that connect black workers with senior leaders or allies who can help them navigate organizational challenges, develop professionally, and advance their careers. This support system can combat isolation and provide guidance. Lastly, ensure equitable advancement opportunities. Ensure that black employees have equal access to career development opportunities such as training, promotions, and leadership roles. Set up clear, transparent criteria for advancement that is free from bias. Support employee resource groups, or ERGs. Create a black employee resource group. Encourage the formation of employee resource groups for black workers. These groups offer a platform for sharing experiences, advocating for policies that improve their work environment, and creating solidarity among black employees. Support and fund ERGs. Organizations should provide resources, funding, and time for ERGs to operate effectively. ERGs can also work with HR and leadership to raise awareness of the challenges black employees face and suggest meaningful solutions. Establish and enforce strong anti-racism policies. Clear anti-discrimination policies. Develop, implement, and strictly enforce a clear anti-racism policy. This policy should clearly define racist behaviors, microaggressions, and harassment, as well as the consequences for engaging in such behaviors. Transparent reporting and consequences. Ensure that employees can report racist incidents without fear of retaliation. There must be clear consequences for discriminatory actions, ensuring that accountability is consistently enforced at all levels of the organization. Promote representation at all levels. Diversify leadership. Black employees should be represented in leadership and decision-making positions. Diversity in leadership helps to ensure that policies and practices are more inclusive and responsive to the needs of black workers. Representation in hiring and promotions. Make intentional efforts to recruit, hire, and promote black workers into senior roles. This shows a commitment to not just diversity in numbers, but also in influence and power. Conduct regular equity audits. Regularly audit the organization's policies, practices, and workplace culture to identify and address any systemic racism or bias. This includes evaluating hiring, compensation, promotion, and retention data to ensure equity. Seek feedback from black employees. Regularly survey black employees about their experiences in the workplace. This feedback can be used to identify areas for improvement and gauge the effectiveness of diversity initiatives. Create a zero-tolerance culture for racism. Work toward creating a culture where racism and discrimination are not tolerated in any form. This involves not just enforcing policies, but also ensuring that there is a genuine shift in organizational values that align with respect, inclusivity, and equity. Leaders and managers must take a proactive role in challenging racism and supporting Black employees. They should be vocal allies, visibly advocating for equality and confronting discriminatory behaviors. Promote mental health and well-being support. Experiencing racism in the workplace can lead to stress, burnout, and trauma. Offer mental health support, such as counseling services that are culturally competent, and can help Black employees process their experiences in a supportive environment. Foster a work environment where Black employees can balance their professional and personal lives without feeling overwhelmed or overburdened by the demands of fighting systemic inequality on their own. Publicly support social justice initiatives. Organizations can take a public stance on important social justice issues, including racial inequality. This can include supporting Black-led initiatives, promoting policies that address inequality, and engaging with community organizations focused on racial justice. Empowering Black workers in an organization that is discriminatory requires a sustained commitment to systemic change. It takes an honest assessment of the organization's culture, a commitment to fairness and transparency, and actionable steps to ensure that Black employees are treated with dignity and respect. By creating an inclusive environment, providing resources, and holding leadership accountable, Black workers can thrive and contribute fully to the success of the organization.